Hey, it's just so Trish, and this is my assignment for the VHC for assignment number 3, how we do reading lists in our homeschool. So don't forget that you can always join the VHC and participate too, and I will have a link to this assignment and a link to how you can join down below. So here we go. For this year, I am putting together 3 reading lists, but not in the normal way that I typically put them together. So I'm going to start with my 6th grader. So just so you know, my 6th grader is an avid reader. She has almost extensively read through what I have for library. On a side note, my library is a bit scarce because I have begun packing it up. So this is what it is. Okay, so my 6th grader has extensively read a lot. A lot of the books she's read in the past are actually from the Robinson curriculum book list, and I've printed the books out. She's read these. This one is in here. I thought I actually got most of them packed up, but I didn't. Because we're going to be in a small space for a while, I don't want to keep these out, and I don't want to print them. So because of that, I'm actually going to convert her list onto here. And all those books are free. They're typically 100 years old. I find this to be, and we're just working through the Robinson curriculum list with her, because I find it to be just a great quality in character building. It satisfies her. And I really feel like if you're going to build an education around a reading list, it is a fantastic reading list. She knows a lot. So we're going back to one of these. This is the old Nook, black and white. It's obsolete now, but it works great. I charge it up, I load it with books, and she can read. The other ones that we're doing that will be a good part of hers is we've got the subscription plan to Lamplighter. There you go. I'm keeping these books out. I am keeping these books out, and will have her read from there. As for assigning books, I'll kind of like have a pile of them, like 6 or 7 books out at a time that I'll have her to choose from. I won't need to require her to read. I won't need to give her an expectation. She will meet and exceed my expectations, and because she is responsible for getting that done, I let her go. I give her that independence to read as much and when and where she wants, and so forth. So that's her. So then my next reading list is going to be for my 5th grader. Now my 5th grader is not, he was, you know, like I've said so many times, he was a late to read child. He did not grasp reading until the end of 3rd grade, which now as I'm meeting more and more homeschoolers, actually that's not that late. That's, you know, not too bad. And when he got it, he understood it, and he just took off. But the love of reading did not cultivate. The ability to read did. He's still not a big love to read. I will tell you, I kind of did a video, I'll link it below, of when I was talking about twaddle. When I discuss, like, what's twaddle? Do you let twaddle in your house? You know, because coming from such a classic, rich book list to a Diary of a Wimpy Kid, it was a bit like, I'm not gonna lie, I was just a little bit whatever. And I really had to grow to accept, because when doing the Diary of the Wimpy Kid, he fell in love with reading. I sadly did not then pursue other books that were kind of similar and start them off on, you know, soft meat and get them to something much more. I tried to then throw them in, and that didn't work out too well. So he'll read, but he's really much more technical reading when it comes to literature. He's not that interested. If I try to give him my oldest's book list, even what she read at his age or below, he doesn't want to do it. So I kind of went through my stash of books and started pulling out one of the things I did at the book haul is I've got some of these. They're from the 50s, but you know, he's interested in being a scientist. He's loving, you know, some chemistry. So I've got some of these for just reading time. But I pulled, he's a Western boy. Not like he's trying to be a cowboy, but we watch MeTV or whatever the different kind of cheap TV, the free TV. But we watch Gunsmoke, the Rifleman, you know, we watch all of those, and he loves them. He absolutely loves them. He could just sit and watch those all day long, and I have to watch him so he doesn't. So, he wasn't interested in them before, but I know, isn't that a fantastic price? I found these 3 at a thrift store, and then I happened to get this one. So I was thrilled when I got them. So I'm going to hopefully get him started on The Indian in the Cupboard. I think he'll really like that. I'm trying to look for very boyish things for him this year. And I haven't, again, I'm not really quite doing a extreme, like, this is what you'll read when you read it. This is just, I'm going to try and find ways to encourage them. But just giving him a book's choice. So, like, I have The Moccasin Trail. I know my daughter's read most of these. The Calico Captain. You're going to notice most of my books are much older. This is his stash. The Voyager. You know, and seriously, I mean, most of these are just Goodwill finds. I got him a Buffalo Bill. He may or may not take to it. Some lesser and not as intense reading also. You know, The Sign of the Beaver. I think it's time for Where the Red Fern Grows. He's going to cry. It's going to be okay. Actually, it was quite emotional when my daughter read this and we saw her sitting on the couch and her lip. I'm going to cry because I'm just emotional. Menopause. She just, her poor lips started quivering in this book. And I was like, I know where you're at. I also have, you know, so just Squanto, Stone Fox. And these are just the ones I pulled from my stash. You know, no real particular. I'm not even like interested in what grade level they are. You know, but they mostly maintain a theme of Mustangs, Wild Spirit in the West. Justin Morgan had a horse. I was so close. I have like the entire, I think, series of the Black Stallion. But I actually packed them up. So I'm like, I didn't want to get ahead of myself with him because I really think this is more than he'll read. But I'm like, that could be for next year. You know, the Lumber Company Library, the Thunder Prairie. And, oh, I love these. These are weekly reader books back in the day. And then amongst the other ones I pulled out, you're going to notice are these. Sorry, I don't have all my tools that I use. These are all books that I have from when we did Sunlight. I couldn't get rid of the books. I was like, I don't need the instructor's guide. But I couldn't get rid of the books. So, I'm going to see if we can attempt these in the mix of them. Kind of deal. But again, it's kind of going to be more of offering this up and seeing what his appetite takes. So that is my 5th grader. I feel like he is really going to be my hardest. He's just not, he doesn't love to read at all. Okay. Oh, also another one for him is I picked this up also at the curriculum thrift. Curriculum thrift, and I have him read from this from time to time too. Alright, so next is my 3rd grader's reading list. So I haven't pulled a lot from her. Her reading ability is almost in par with her brother's, so I actually feel like she's going to pull some from him. The ones I grabbed a lot of, these are my stickers for, again, the 3rd grade reading Sunlight curriculum. I have those books, so I pulled some of those out. Caddy Woodland. I wanted to get her started. You know, we kind of had a problem with, I tried to get her to do Little House on the Prairie, but my daughter loved it so much. My other daughter wouldn't read it because of that. So I put those up in storage, but I figured we can always check them out from the library. Some more of the same. Can you see them? So then a couple more. I also grabbed Sarah the Courageous, or the Courage of Sarah Noble. Strawberry Girl. My daughter loved this book. This is a Florida-based book from, I think, the 50s, 40s maybe. Very kind of maybe before then. Alright, so it was written in 45, so it was before the 50s. So this is very much the pioneering of Florida. Like, and they even have like the old graphic. But this, love. I thought maybe there would be a whole series of them, but they're really about girls from all over the country. So I got this for her. Prairie School. We got one of the books, and I went ahead and got them all because they were so enjoyed. Did I do that right? Understood Betsy. And then Question of Yams. So those are my book list for my kids. The thing about them is there's no rhyme or reason. Years past, there's rhyme or reason. My oldest has a rhyme or reason because I'm following a book list because it's not that, hard. My other two are just, this is what I have on my shelf, let me grab, and this looks kind of good, and let's see what happens. I found that my kids read better if we went to the library. We might have to do that. I have one more of these, so as time goes, I might actually invoke them all to be on here instead of in the books. But they'll be strictly free books that I find through Google Book, the Google Book search. I need to require my 5th grader, my 3rd grader to read. How much I'm going to do that yet, I don't know. Am I going to assign it by day? I'm really probably going to look to VHC to get some ideas on what to ask. One of the big reasons why I'm not so overeager to assign a lot of reading is because of using self-teaching curriculum. They do a lot of reading. I mean, essentially all their stuff is reading. They're not being shown the video. They're not being taught to. They are reading their stuff. So when it comes to the need for them to read, getting more words in that they've read, just for the act of reading and comprehension, they're reading 2 straight 3 hours a day, and it's enough. So that's definitely not it for me. I don't feel like they need to read in order to have a good exercise of reading. My goal when they read is to have life experiences. And with life experiences, when you read a good book, your memory and your mind go into that journey that you had in that book through those characters. And when this has been known, studied fact. This is not a just so Trish decided this is how it works. This is what I've learned through reading about reading. And those emotions that you go through on that journey in that book builds you, and it helps you build character through experiences you didn't have, but as though you had them. So when you're put in a situation, you are more prepared to handle it because of the experiences you had through a book. So that is my method, my main reason for why I pick what I pick. I try to find journeys. One of the things I've found for my daughter is that she has an amazing knowledge of history through what we've read and reading historical texts. And I mean, yes, they're fiction, sometimes they're autobiography or biographies. She has a great sense, and biographies are powerful stuff. I'm not glued to this selection. This is just what I'm going to keep out to make available for them to read. As for recording and incentives, last year I promised I'd pay them based on AR points. I didn't pay them. They kind of accrued more money than I was expecting. I'm still pretty guilty on that one. I'm having a hard time with it. I'm going to have to pay them in payments. So I don't know if I would go in the money aspect again, but I might. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So I haven't figured out how I'm going to do the incentives, and hopefully the VHC will give me some ideas on how I can encourage my children to read and enjoy it. So there you go. That is my submission for this assignment. Wow, that was long. Are you still here? You're pretty amazing if you're still here. Alright, I gotta pack up the rest of my books. There's a lot. I've already packed a lot. It's been emotional. But I gotta get it done. I'll talk to you later. Peace out.